Good morning, everybody. We've got a higher trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures up 1.5 at 5.34 1/4. November soybeans up 4 3/4 at 12.26 1/4. December Chicago wheat up 7.5 cents at 7.43 3/4. December Kansas City wheat up 7.5 at 7.56 1/2. December spring wheat up 9 cents at 9.76 3/4. If you're listening on the podcast, appreciate it. Leave me a rating or review. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you need some additional assistance from me, check out my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. You can go to that website and click on Grain Marketing Plan in the upper right-hand corner. For $49 a month, I've got a subscription service. It includes everything you need to know about these grain markets. This is a monthly subscription you can cancel at absolutely any time. No other fee, no other obligation. I won't try to sell you anything else. It's a morning email, text message service, subscriber-only videos from me where I really get into depth in regard to these markets, in regard to things like South American production, weather, all that sort of stuff. Check this deal out, guys. Soybean planting in Brazil is moving pretty quickly. Well-followed group Ag Rural estimated that the crop was 22% planted through October 14th, which they say is the second fastest paced on record, probably in the modern era at least. The country's first corn crop, 45% planted versus 44% last year. They have had a big improvement in weather in Brazil. They have caught some spring rains, and things are improving drastically. Soil moisture deficits quickly disappearing. This is what we've seen in regard to rainfall over the last 15 days. I mean, a lot of areas, an inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches of rain. So the moisture deficits that we started the season with in Brazil are disappearing here pretty quickly. Here's the forecast through October 27th. You got more rain coming. A lot of these first corn areas in the south up through this eastern portion here are going to catch rain. And then a lot of these kind of central-ish areas down into the south, which are big soybean areas, will catch rain as well. So the situation in Brazil is improving and improving drastically. At this very moment, I would say they have all the potential in the world to produce record corn and soybean crops, especially given that they have increased acreage in both crops to record levels. Soybean shipments out of the U.S. improved drastically last week. 2.3 million metric tons of U.S. beans inspected for export in the week ending October 14th. That was up 32% versus the week prior, just marginally smaller versus the same week last year. So we're kind of back to where we were last year in terms of weekly soybean inspections. Now, total soybean inspections, total shipments for the marketing year are down 51% versus the same date last year. And a lot of that, of course, has to do with issues at the Gulf. We just had a time frame there where shipments kind of just stalled out. So we're trying to play catch up here. We've got a lot of work to do. Corn inspections were good as well, 976,000. That was up 16% on the week. It was up 7% versus the same week last year. Total corn inspections marketing year to date, not as bad as soybeans, but still down 25% versus the same date last year. Same deal there. A lot of it goes back to the hurricane and damage and the fact that we were just stalled for a while. We had our crop progress report from USDA yesterday. Corn harvest 52% complete versus 41 last week, 41 on average. You've got a whole bunch of key corn growing states running at or above their respective 5-year averages in regard to harvest progress. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Michigan, and Missouri are all running at or above their respective 5-year averages in regard to corn harvest. States running below their 5-year averages include Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and Tennessee. It's been pretty wet in a lot of those areas. U.S. soybean harvest is 60% complete, up from 49 last week, above the 55% average. You've got kind of a mixed bag here. You have some states certainly running at or above their respective 5-year averages in regard to harvest. Those states include Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas. But there's a lot of states in the East that are running below their respective 5-year averages in regard to soybean harvest. Those states include Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana. You got some Delta areas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and North Carolina, all below their 5-year average in regard to soybean harvest. Nothing to be worried about here, just a little bit of a difference depending on geography, of course. Winter wheat crop, 70% planted, up from 60 last week, just behind the 71% average. Kansas is 75% done versus 68 on average. Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota are nearing completion, above 90%. Your SRW areas in the Midwest about half done for the most part. U.S. stock market has recovered from its September 2nd peak to its October 4th low. The S&P lost about 6%, so you had a 6% correction in the stock market, and we've since rallied almost 5% from the October 4th low. So we're only like a percentage point or 1.5% from all-time highs in the stock market here this morning. Things acting much better. Remember, guys, November grain options expire on Friday. Be sure to take a look at any remaining open positions that you have there. Cattle market got beat up a little bit yesterday. Fat cattle were only down, 30 to 50 cents, but feeders were down more than $2 in some of these contracts. No cash trade yesterday. 124 caught most of it last week. The box beef market was just marginally lower yesterday. In the outside markets, the U.S. dollar is lower. The stock market's up. The S&P's up 22. The Dow's up 170. Gold's up $14. Silver is up as well. Crude oil is up about 90 cents, 83.34 in that November WTI. I got to start looking at the December, but awfully strong in the crude oil market. Everybody have a wonderful day today. I will talk to you guys same time tomorrow.